What's up guys? Cameron Gamble here from BD Outdoors. Today we're gonna be making a simple yet delicious mahi fish taco recipe. Yeah, so earlier this week, we caught some of these Dorado and we filleted them up with the 8-inch Max Flex fillet knife by Dexter Outdoors. This Dextreme model is great for cutting fish, super flexy, lightweight, very, very sharp. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start by kind of cleaning up the fish. As you can see, these Dorado fillets are very clean, but there's also this bloodline on the bottom side. We're gonna wanna get that out of the fish. You don't want that very strong, potent, fishy flavor when you're biting into your taco. You can see these fillets right down the middle. Where it gets dark is where you're gonna identify the bloodline. And yeah, we'll just kind of get rid of all that. So you can see that tan mark right there. You just want to get rid of as much of that as you can. It's not an ideal piece of fish that you're going to want to eat. And we'll move on to our second one and do the same exact thing. Try to get as much of this fillet as we can. Don't want to waste any fish if we don't have to. So you can see this Dextreme just goes right through that, makes it super easy, keeps it super clean. Now the fish is nice and cleaned up. We're on to the next step of making these perfect portion size for your individual tacos. What I like to do is, as you can see, I'm using a corn tortilla from a local Mexican market. You wanna make sure that your size of fish is perfect for just a single taco. We're gonna cut these into little strips. As you can see, the length is matched up pretty well. They're gonna shrink just a tad as they cook. So we're gonna strip these pieces of fish out. With these, this is a pretty wide piece of fish. You're not gonna want all of that in one taco. So we're gonna half this smaller one here, creating two perfect little strips of fish. And then we're gonna go through and try to mirror that size for all of these. As you can see, this fish is nice and firm, it's fresh, there's no bloodline. So there we have it. We have these nice, perfect taco sized pieces of fish, especially with that larger tortilla. If you're using one of the smaller street taco sized tortillas, you're probably gonna want to cut these in half because those street tacos tortillas tend to be quite small. But with this mahi, I like to do those larger tortillas so I can get all the pico in there, I can get some mango on it. All right, so now the fish is cut up, it's in the fridge. We gave a good wipe down to get some of that fish off this cutting board. And now we're gonna move into our pico. We're gonna do like a little mango twist, just your average pico, red onion, some Roma tomatoes, cilantro with some lime, and then we're gonna put a little mango in there too to give it a little bit of extra flavor. So now to finalize the pico, we're gonna drop some lime in here. I usually use 3 to 4 limes depending on how much pico I made. You can tell this is quite a bit of pico. Go by taste, drop in a few, taste it. If it's not enough, make a couple more. And then we're going to chop up some cabbage as a topper. It's kind of a fan favorite. Most places serve their tacos with cabbage, so we'll make a little side plate for some cabbage, and we'll also do the same with an avocado. So now the final topping step before we start cooking the fish and getting the tortillas ready is just a classic crema sauce. This is so easy. Basically everywhere sells this type of taco seasoning. You don't need this brand, you don't need this type. You can get a Chipotle one, you can get whatever flavor you enjoy. It's literally just some Mexican crema, a few scoops of that, and mix it around with the taco seasoning in a bowl, and it's just that classic taco sauce. Same thing, do this to taste. If you want it stronger, add more seasoning. If you want it lighter, add more crema. I like to do a few scoops of crema and about half of this. So now the toppings are done. We're getting ready to cook this fish here. So what I like to do is get it wrapped in oil and seasoned up before you put it on the grill. You don't want to be flipping and seasoning it up as you go. So pick your favorite seasoning. You can't go wrong with salt, pepper, garlic, a little chili pepper, paprika, any type of blackening seasoning works as well. This is just one straight out of the cabinet. Didn't have to go shop for it. Something we use for a bunch of other dishes. So we're gonna wrap this in some spray oil, roll the fish around, season it up, roll the fish a little more, then shove it straight on the frying pan. All right, so I got the pan set here to a nice medium heat. I'm gonna set it, I'm gonna leave it at that same exact heat the whole time. I'm not gonna let it fluctuate. A nice thin coat of olive oil. You can use any other type of oil. Olive oil seems to be a little bit healthier. You know, avocado oil works as well, canola oil works. So we just let the pan get nice and coated with just a very thin layer. All right, so now we toasted our tortillas. The fish is cooked. As you can see, we cooked it just in a little bit of oil, like I had mentioned before. It was about 3, maybe 4 minutes each side, maybe even a little less. These are pretty thin strips. So just make sure when you're cooking your fish, you're looking for that whiter color coming up the side of the fish. That's how you know it's cooking. Once it passes halfway, flip it. And then, yeah, you should get some nice pieces of fish looking a lot like this. So now it's time for the finale. Let's put these tacos together. I like to pair the tortillas up, grab a nice piece of fish for each taco, throw in a little extra there because these are some large tortillas. As you can see, it did shrink, perfect taco sized tortillas. We have our mango pico coming in next. A little cabbage sprinkle. So we got the sprinkle of cabbage on top. Now we're gonna come in with a little bit of avo. Just put a few slices in there. Come through with the lime wedge. And then we have the crema sauce. Stir it around so it's nice and smooth. And then we're just gonna give it a little, there you have it. It's quick, easy Mahi fish tacos.